Shalom, g'day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for Rainbow Press and Comics, and today I am going to be covering Event Leviathan issue 6. So, what fun do we have here? Just to give you the bare basics of how Fool's Gold works, if you're new to this. The things I do is I rate the cover, the art, and the story. Of course, you have a total that goes towards the artist and the writer. I'm sure you're thinking, what's this total about? Let me show you. Alright, the total is basically how much I pay for this comic, Australian dollars. Yes, it's got the currency conversion there. And the story, the art, whatever else, will also be rated on its actual worth. Especially for the reader. Like, is it actually worth $6.84? Is it actually worth $8.55 if I'm paying for something that's $4.99 USD? Yes or no? So let's get to the joy. Let's make a start on rating the cover. For the cover here, of course, we will give it a rating of about for the cover, sorry about that, I had to fix up the autofocus. Does this cover work within the story? Yes and no, so it's a bit of a 50-50 on this. Yes, we get the unmasking of who it is, and I'm sure you've already heard the spoilers. It's a manhunter by the name of Mark Shaw. Doesn't really show it in the cover. Frig no. Not at all. No, it wouldn't have hurt to have covered it in more hints. So, a 5 out of 10. How much do I think it's worth? Probably $1.50. I think the artist or the cover artist has sort of let the reader down a bit. Actual art. Alright, this being just some of the scenes within the story. If it's meant to come off like a Batman noir, or better yet, a detectives amongst the Detective Comics noir, it sort of slips a bit. I mean, quite a bit. I'll give it a 2.5 out of 10. Which brings it down to worth $1.15. Now, let's move to the ugly, unfun part, the story. Now, did we get good recognition of cast of characters? I'd have to say, yes, we did this time around. It was a little bit better than previous. In the rating of the cast, or just mainly identifying the cast of characters, probably a 4 out of 10. Characterization, a deep 2 out of 10. Do we get locations in here? Only one location, but there were a couple of other locations that were not pointed out. And because of that, they lose some points. Rating on that, 1 out of 10, I'm afraid to say. Now the overall story. It became too predictable at the early beginning, and I know I'm not the only one who's a little bit displeased with this run. Even my LCS brought up something about it, is that it was actually a very flat story from beginning to end, and it could have just been done off in, say, a big one-shot, a huge one-shot. Maybe about 80 to 100 pages, just to cover the whole story. The motivations of the villain, or the character that was meant to be the villain, who's going to return again in a one-shot, and of course back in Action Comics, which I won't be picking that issue up in relation to it, because no doubt Brian Michael Bendis is going to want to continue that for maybe another 6 issues. He can't help himself. Rating for the story? 1.5 out of 10. Only because the cast of characters were a little bit more identifiable between each other. Actual worth? $0.75 Australian. I'll leave the watcher to, or the person who's watching this, to work out how much the writer actually gets, and also the artist. Remember, you can't bank on Bendis at DC Comics. But I would like to point out something. I ended up watching a stream earlier, and if it's one thing that I did sort of like in the stream, is Brian Michael Bendis' admiration and a bit of a reverence towards artists within the industry. So I'll try to leave a link to it in the description so you can see the live stream for yourself. And be prepared for upcoming titles as well, which Bendis will be behind. That's something else that it's sort of hinted at. Until then, let's keep it colourful. And if you really want to enjoy something of Brian Michael Bendis, go check out his Powers series. It's probably one of the best things that I've come and enjoyed. Check that out.